Okay, we're going to do now chapter reading number 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, or chapter number 4. Yes, we're going to do chapter number 4. Chapter 3 is already over. Okay, so this is the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogaha. The Blessed Lord said, I imparted this imperishable yoga knowledge to Vivaswan, who gave the same knowledge to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. In this manner, this yoga was handed down in succession, and the great sages knew about it. Due to the lapse of time, this wisdom has been concealed. O Parantapa, scorcher of enemies, the same secret wisdom of the ancient yoga is new, revealed by me to you, for you are devoted to me and are a good friend of mine. Your birth is later than the birth of Vivaswan, sun god, which was prior. How am I to understand this, that you initiated him in this wisdom? The Blessed Lord said, O Arjuna, many are the births that you have passed and met me, as well as my meeting you. I know all of them while you know not. Though I am free from birth and death, being immutable and Lord of beings, I subjugate my Prakriti and manifest through my own Maya. O Bharata, whenever there is decline of righteousness and rise of unrighteousness, I manifest myself. I manifest myself time and again in every eon to protect noble people and to eliminate the wicked and thus establish righteousness. O Arjuna, he who knows in the true light my divine nature at the end of his life attains me and is never reborn. Many are the people who rise above fear and anger, pain and pleasure, and become absorbed in me, purified by the penance in the fire of knowledge, and take refuge in me. O Arjuna, whoever worships me with whatever mental disposition, I fulfill their desires in the same way. Men always follow the path treaded by me. Ignorant ones longing for success in action sacrifice to the gods, because success in actions is attained quickly in this world, but not the knowledge of the Atma. I have grouped the people of the world into 4 classes, according to their disposition and actions. Though I am the promulgator of this, know me to be changeless and free from action. I am not tainted by any actions, nor I have any desire for the fruit. One who knows me thus is not fretted by action. Knowing thus, the seekers of liberation have performed the actions earlier. Therefore, you too perform the actions as was done by the ancients. Even the sages are confounded with respect to the right action and the wrong one. I now elaborate the secret of right action, knowing which you shall be free from sins. It is very essential to know the secret of performing good action, prohibited action, and the truth about inaction. It is very difficult to know the path of action. One who sees the real meaning of action in inaction, as well of inaction in action, is the wisest and engrossed in the Atma, and is the performer of all actions. One whose undertakings are free from resolve and desire for fruits, people know him to be Pandita, the knower of Atma, whose actions' desires have been burnt in the fire of knowledge. Such a wise man gives up the attachment to the fruits of action and is ever content and remains unclinging to pleasures while still engaged in action. Wise man, free from desires and with the body and mind in control, gives up the need to possess anything. Performing actions merely to sustain the body, he incurs no sin, working thus. One who is ever content with what comes without effort, unaffected by the dualities of mind, free from perverse thoughts and envy, even minded even when in success and failure, is not bound, thought performing deeds. One who has given up all attachments, whose mind is centered in knowledge of Atma, performs the actions only as ajnana or anyana, the karma slowly wither away. Being rapt and seeing the Supreme Brahman in action, he himself is Brahman. Whatever such a person offers is Brahman. The substratum of offering is also Brahman. To whom he offers is also Brahman, and he himself reaches the Brahman. Some yogis offer the sacrifices to God in yagnas, but the wise offer the self as sacrifice, divert themselves of all limitations in the fire of supreme knowledge. There are some who again offer hearing and other activities as sacrifice in the fire of control. They control their sense organs, while the others offer sound and such sense objects in fire of senses, physically stop talking, seeing, etc. There are others who control all the actions of senses and prana, offer them as sacrifice in fire of control, and establish themselves in the Atma. There are many others who offer their wealth as charity, perform austerities, and undertake religious activities as sacrifice, while others observe religious vows, study the scriptures as an act of sacrifice. There are some who practice the pranayama. They try to merge sacrifice, the exhalation in inhalation, and inhalation in the exhalation by regulating the movement of breath. So, there are some who practice the pranayama. They try to merge sacrifice, the exhalation in the inhalation, and the inhalation in the exhalation by regulating the movement of breath. While those who have regulated diet try to merge pranas into their respective functions, all these people, the knowers of yagna, destroy all the sins in the process of the yagna. They enjoy the nectar of the yagna and attain the supreme state, O best of Kurus. When the mortal world itself is unattainable for one who knows not the yagna, how can one attain the higher worlds? There are numerous yagnas stored in the depository of Vedas. All these yagnas are directed towards actions. Know them in their right value and liberate yourself. O scorcher of foes, the sacrifice done with knowledge, yagna or jnana, yoga, is far superior to the materialistic sacrifices, because all actions ultimately consummate in knowledge. You can know the Supreme only from the knower of truth, who would willfully impart the knowledge if you seek by prostrating humbly inquiring and subjugating yourself. O Pandava, by knowing the Supreme, you shall not be bound by ignorance, by knowing which you can experience all the living beings' entire creation in yourself as well as in me. You, even if you are the worst of all the sinners, by the raft of knowledge can cross the burden of sins. Just as the flames of fire burns down the wood into ashes, so too the fire of knowledge reduces the burden of actions into heaps of ashes. Nothing exists in the world more purifying than knowing the knowledge of the Atma. In the course of time, one attains perfection by yogic practices and realizes oneself. The man who is endowed with Shraddha, a firm mind, devoted, and has firm control over the senses, attains the knowledge and enjoys supreme bliss. He who has no Shraddha, which is faith, is ignorant and is ever doubtful, perishes. For such a person there is no room in this world, nor the higher worlds, and is therefore deprived of happiness. O Dhananjaya, actions do not bind a person who is established in the Atma and who has renounced all desires and actions through yoga and has eradicated all doubts in the mind. O Arjuna, cut all the doubts born of ignorance by the sword of knowledge and take up yoga. Be free and perform the duties. So this is the end of chapter 4 from the Srimad Bhagavat, which is an English translation by Dr. P. Ramachandrasekhar, a book from which I am reading. Okay, we'll do the next chapter in the next video.